Welcome to an UnConference about students with additional needs in remote learning environments. Produced by Benetech, Bridge Multimedia, and CAST, with support from the U.S. Department of Education, Institute of Education Sciences, and the Office of Special Education Programs. Ideas that work. Module 3, Curriculum Supports. Writing efficiently with graphic organizers. Online supports for students with learning differences. Attainment curriculum at home and the web. Text. EPIC is a nonprofit theater company that serves neurodiverse students through a contract with the New York City Department of Education. Now, a virtual split-screen performance.
I could be a poet and write a different story, one that tells of glory and wipes away the lies.
Into the skies I'd throw it, the stars would do the telling, the moon would help with spelling, and night would dot the eyes.
I'd write a verse,
recite a joke
with wit and perfect timing,
and share my heart,
confess the things I yearn, and do it all while rhyming. But we all learn.
But we all learn.
Yes, I'd be a hero, and if my wish were granted, life would be enchanted. Or so the stories say.
Of course I'd be a hero, and I would scale a tower to save a hothouse flower and carry her away.
But standing guard would be a beast. I'd somehow overwhelm it.
I'd get the girl, I'd take a breath, and I'd remove my helmet. We tend to stare, we speak of love, we feel the stars ascending. We'd share a kiss, I'd find my destiny. I'd have a hero's ending, a perfect happy ending.
That's how it would be.
A big, bright, beautiful world,
But not for me.
An ogre always hides, an ogre's fate is known. An ogre always stays
in the dark.
You're all alone.
All I know.
So yes, I'd be a hero, and if my wish were granted, life would be enchanted. Or so the stories say. You need a
Of course I'd be a hero, and I would scale a tower to save a hothouse flower and carry her away. A perfect happy ending, that's how it should be.
Text. EPIC Players, a neuro-inclusive theater company.
Hi, my name is Lisa Waters, and I'm the director of the Diagram Center, an Office of Special Education Programming sponsored project. Today, I will be the moderator for the Curriculum Supports Lightning Talk. The first speaker, Christine Jones, Associate Director of Global Literacy at Benetech, will discuss ways to support students with learning disabilities and help them read in ways that work for them through Bookshare. She'll show you how to give qualified students access to educational materials for free, and you'll hear how students can customize their reading experiences on nearly any device with ebooks in audio plus highlighted text, Braille, large font, and more. Next, we'll hear from our team at George Mason University about We Go Right. Drs. Anya M. Nova, Kelly Reagan, Amy Hutchinson have been driven by the need to improve students' writing and performance. We Go Right improves the quantity and quality of persuasive essay writing for students with high incident disabilities and struggling writers across grades. It also offers professional development for teachers in order to effectively integrate technology and individualize their writing instruction. Lastly, we'll hear from Megan Best from the Attainment Company. In her talk, Megan will discuss several web-delivered curriculum titles that can be used at home. The target for this talk are students who participate in alternative assessments. The Attainment Company is offering a 90-day free subscription to their services in response to COVID-19. Immediately following Megan's presentation, we'll open up for questions for all three speakers. Please make sure you note which project you're referring to when you post your question in the Q&A box. We'll try to get through all the questions, but you're always welcome to follow up with the speakers directly after the panel. Welcome all, and I'd now like to kick off our talks.
To begin our next track, Curriculum Supports, let's welcome Christine K. Jones, Associate Director, Global Literacy, Benetech Labs. Ms. Jones' presentation is titled, Support Students with Learning Differences Online with Bookshare.
Hey, thanks for spending a few minutes with me to learn about supporting students with learning differences online with Bookshare. Glad to be with you today. I'm Christine Jones, Associate Director of Global Literacy at Benetech, which is the parent company of Bookshare. And before I get any further with my presentation, let me show you a short video.
Inside every book is a new world, and nothing should keep you from exploring. Whether you're learning to read, studying for an exam, or just having fun, Bookshare helps you read in ways that work for you. Choose your favorite high-quality voice and listen to your books. Stay focused with karaoke-style text highlights. Adjust text to your perfect size, speed, color, and contrast. Choose from our huge collection of titles, ready to read on nearly any device. And the best part? It's free for U.S. students who qualify, and less than $1 a week for qualified adults. So start reading in ways that work for you and explore new worlds with Bookshare.
All right, hope you enjoyed that. So the problem that I wanted to address today is one very familiar to many of you, which is reading is fundamental to learning. But the fact is that many students read in very different ways. And in fact, many students need their reading materials in alternative formats because of different kinds of reading barriers that they have. So you might say, well, we'll just give them ebooks. Well, ebooks are great. However, some of them have many of the same limitations that students are going to encounter with their hard copy printed materials. If a student has issues with print on paper, they have the same issues with print on a screen, unless there are accommodations built in or changes made to that text. And in the environment that everyone is operating in currently, the teacher's ability to retrofit materials or remediate materials for students is very limited. So where does that leave teachers today? They need an easy way to provide ebooks to students in formats that they can read. And they need to provide these materials to them on a timely basis and in a way that they can do it from their couches, and students can read from their couches. So what's the solution? Bookshare solves these challenges for teachers. Bookshare is an ebook library that makes reading easier so that people with reading barriers such as dyslexia, blindness, and physical disabilities can read in ways that work better for them. So maybe they're auditory learners and they just want to listen to books read aloud. Or maybe they want to follow along with highlighted text and the audio. Or maybe they have low vision and they want to enlarge the type. Or maybe they're a Braille reader. They use a Braille device. Or they want to have hard copy Braille. All of these options are possible with Bookshare. Bookshare contains 850,000 titles, and all of these titles are available in multiple formats, including audio plus highlighted text. Every single book in the Bookshare collection can be read in that multimodal fashion where they can see the words on the screen and they're highlighted as the audio is narrating the text. There's a lot of research that shows that text read in this manner helps students improve their comprehension, be more engaged with the text, and oftentimes actually read more than they would have otherwise. So every single Bookshare book is available to be read in that way. The collection contains textbooks, books for assigned and pleasure reading. So typically the books that are needed for school are going to be found in Bookshare. And then we hope that students find other books of interest to them and reading becomes a choice, something they want to do rather than just something they have to do. And Bookshare has a lot of nonfiction, how-to books, so students can add to their skill sets. Best of all, Bookshare memberships are free for all qualified United States students of any age, thanks to funding from the Office of Special Education Programs at the U.S. Department of Education. And students can customize their reading experience on nearly any device. So almost any device they're currently using to read, they can use that device to access Bookshare books, and then they can customize the reading experience. So they can select the font that they like, the voice that they like, the speed at which it reads, the color scheme that they like. All of these are options available to students depending on the tool they're using to read the books. Now I'm going to let you hear from some students who are going to tell you what they love about Bookshare.
When I use Bookshare, it's like a door opener. I say it's like you doing something that you've never done before. It's like you doing something you like, but you've never done it before.
It's an app that you can download really any book.
Fiction, comedy,
Sci-fi.
something with mystery.
I like reading the Born Identity series. I just started that.
I'm reading now this book called No Choir Boy. It's for one of my classes. It's about teenagers on death row.
Like the Hunger Games.
The Harry Potter series.
The Giver. It was a really good book too.
I can download it on my phone. I can get books like that. They're downloading in like 3 seconds.
You can do different stuff with it, like make the font bigger.
You can make it so it's as big as you want it, and you can see it the way you want to see it.
It shows where it's reading, so you can stay along with it, and you're not just listening to it.
Mr. Weasley liked Harry to sit next to him at the dinner table so that he could
You can change the voice, how the voice sounds, and you can also change the speed that it reads. So I use that a lot. I like to skim over, read it with highlighted section because it helps me read later on if I don't have access to technology.
I don't know, it just gets me in the book.
Oh, I really like what she said there. It just gets me in the book. And that's the great thing about Bookshare. It really engages students in reading. Let me show you how easy it is for a student to access a book and begin reading in Bookshare. I've logged into Bookshare as a student, and as a student, when I go to My Bookshare, I see books that have been assigned to me by my teachers, and I see entire lists of books that have been assigned to me by my teachers. I can select any of these books to read, and next to the book is a button that says Read Now. When I select that link, the book opens up in the browser. Then I can use the table of contents to pick a chapter to read, and then I can make the book read out loud by using the play button here at the top.
Chapter 5. Next week was back to school. Easter vacation over, and on that Monday, like always before school.
So that's how easy it is for a student to find a book, select that Read Now button, and open it up in the browser and start reading. In addition, students can elect to use one of those extensions that I mentioned to enhance the reading process. So for example, I'll show how Read and Write's tool works with Bookshare Web Reader. So the toolbar comes up and lays over on top of Bookshare Web Reader. I'm going to select Hover Speech and just hover my cursor over where
Next week was back to school, Easter vacation over, and on that Monday, like always before school, I scrubbed Will so hard he was shining.
So you'll see that that tool offers some better contrast of colors and also some better voice options. So that's a great way to read Bookshare books. Now, as the student, I can find different ways to read Bookshare books. When I'm in my Bookshare account, I'll see a button that says Discover Ways to Read Our Books. And this reading tool wizard guides students in how to find the reading tool that will work best for them, depending on the device that they're using. Also, once students are comfortable with Bookshare, we recommend helping them get a full individual membership in Bookshare that allows them to read more than the books that are assigned to them by their teachers. So to do that, they can select this button in their account that says Read More for free. That takes them to a sign-up page. But that way, the student can log into Bookshare, see not only the books that have been assigned to them by their teachers, but also any other books that they'd like to access in the collection. So getting started is really easy. Teachers create accounts, which we call organizational accounts, and then they log in They add their qualified students. They assign books to them. There's a couple different ways they can assign books, either one at a time or they can assign entire collections of books. Then the students log in, find their books, and read. Alternatively, parents can sign up students separate and apart from a school and help them get a membership to Bookshare, and then they log in, find books, and read. On our website, bookshare.org, under the Help Center, you'll find some great resources: an Educators Get Started guide, a learning center that has a rich collection of videos and how-to guides, and then we offer phone support and email support Monday through Friday during Pacific time, business hours. And you can connect with us on social media as well. Let me also point you to some resources that you'll find helpful during this time of school closures. On the Bookshare website, we have a Learning at Home page that you can access that has some great information for educators and parents. And if you select Find More Books over here on the right, you're taken to a page that shows sources of ebooks and other content for students beyond just Bookshare members, and content from a lot of other producers that is being made available right now, either for free or at a very low cost. Okay, I'll wrap it up there, and I'm happy to take questions.
Here's one of our student remote rock stars, deaf performance artist and fourth grader Savannah Dayan, talking about Earth Day. Text, social media handle @SavvyASL. Now a girl with brown hair uses sign language while an announcer reads accompanying captions.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Guess what tomorrow is? Earth Day. Did you know Earth Day was founded 50 years ago? Earth Day is one of my favorite days of the year. I wish Earth Day was every day so that way we can cherish the Earth and help the Earth. Earth needs us now. The challenge for tomorrow is, drum rolls, when you do things that you think will help the Earth, post a photo of yourself doing what you think it takes to help our Earth, and tag me with #SavvyTheEarth. Have fun!
Next on our curriculum supports track, please welcome Anya Evmanova, Amy Hutchison, and Kelly Regan, George Mason University, Division of Special Education and Disability Research. Their presentation is titled We Go Right, Writing Efficiently with Graphic Organizers.
Hello. Today I would like to share with you a technology-based intervention that we developed to support students with high incidence disabilities in essay writing. The tool has been developed and is now being refined with the support of 2 consecutive research and development projects funded by the Stepping Up Technology Implementation grants from OSAP. Project We Got It, Writing Efficiently with Graphic Organizers, Teachers Integrating Technology, ended in 2018. And We Go Right, Writing Efficiently with Graphic Organizers, Responsive Instruction While Implementing Technology Efficiently, is currently in its 2nd year. These projects address 2 major aims. First, we hope to improve writing instruction and essay writing performance for students with disabilities, as well as students without disabilities, but those who struggle with writing. Second, in our work, we try to support teachers in efficient technology integration and data-driven decision-making in the area of writing instruction. In our developments, we relied on existing evidence that strategy instruction, use of mnemonics, word processing, self-regulated learning strategies, graphic organizers, UDL supports, video modeling, and data-driven decision-making can support students with disabilities during essay writing. During our first project, we developed a series of technology-based graphic organizers, or TBGOs, in 3 formats: a computer-based graphic organizer available in Microsoft Word, mobile-based graphic organizer app, and a web-based graphic organizer for Chromebook users. Now, in our current project, we are working on improving our TBGO for Chrome. Different versions of TBGOs support 3 essay genres: persuasive genre with and without a counter-argument, argumentative, and personal narrative genre. Although in our current work, we're trying to focus on one of the hardest genre for struggling writers, persuasive, opinion-based genre. This is our web-based TBGO for Google Chrome. It has 5 parts. First, students are asked to pick a goal for their essay. For example, the goal might be to include 3 reasons and 2 explanations in their essay, as well as to use proper punctuation. In the second part, students fill out the table. Specifically, they brainstorm their ideas, organize them according to a mnemonic, write complete sentences, and check off the items on the self-monitoring checklist available in the last column. After the table is complete, students click a button to automatically copy and paste sentences or paragraphs they typed in the table into a complete essay. After using built-in text-to-speech to hear their essay being read aloud, students edit and revise their products. And finally, they complete a self-evaluation of their final product. In all TBGOs, we use the mnemonic IDEAS. This is an example of ideas for persuasive essay. I, identify your opinion. D, determine 3 reasons. E, explain a why or say more. A, add transition words as you go. And S, summarize. The ideas mnemonic is slightly different for other essay genres. Our TBGOs include several UDL supports that can help students with various abilities and needs. I already mentioned built-in text-to-speech. Students can click anywhere on the screen to hear text being read aloud. If students forget what IDEAS stands for, or which essay parts should be included in a persuasive essay, they can hover over any text to see text hints. There are also audio comments built in, so students can hear what needs to be included in each part of their persuasive essay. Finally, there are various drop-down menus. For example, when students start writing complete sentences, there is a drop-down with different transition words for each sentence. One of our major accidental learning findings is that after choosing transition words from a drop-down menu, students continue to use those even when a TBGO is removed. There are also self-regulated learning strategies built in, such as goal setting at the very beginning of the TBGO, self-instruction with the help of mnemonic, text hints, and audio comments, self-monitoring, self-evaluation, and there is also a self-efficacy question at the end of the TBGO. Our newest version of TBGO Plus also embeds video models. Those include both how to use TBGO videos and content videos that model how to plan and write a high-quality essay. The video models provide ample opportunities to reinforce concepts of the writing process in a playful, creative, and engaging way. These are the topics of the videos, but in general, teachers can use how-to videos to introduce TBGO to students, and they use content videos to introduce different persuasive essay parts, such as topic sentence, reasons, explanations, summary, as well as introduce different writing skills, such as brainstorming, revision, and editing. Content videos are also accompanied by video guides, which offer teachers ideas for mini lessons or extension ideas in order to provide additional or remediation instruction across various essay writing tasks. Teachers have used these video guides for whole group instruction as well as for individual remedial activities with individual students. While you cannot really read anything on this screen, the newest version of TBGO Plus also includes a teacher dashboard where teachers can review the TBGO data as well as students' final writing sample and evaluate those using a rubric. The rubric is very easy to use. Teachers just click on the cell on the rubric for each step of the writing process. Now, after completing the rubric, teachers are asked to make an instructional decision according to the DDDM maps that we provide, which might include assigning students to rewatch a specific video, or maybe pulling students for additional remediation lesson or additional activities. As of today, we've conducted research in 20 schools across 7 school districts. We have done it in self-contained classes for students with high incidence disabilities, in pull-out, and in inclusive settings in which all students participated. We have worked with more than 70 teachers, including general and special education teachers. The majority of them were language arts teachers, but we also had social studies and science teachers participating in the project. We have worked with more than 1,000 students. At the beginning of the project, we focused on upper elementary and middle school grades. But based on teacher requests, we quickly expanded to students in grades as low as 3rd and as high as 12th. Out of all those students, about 685 were struggling writers. Overall, we found that the majority of struggling writers increased the quantity of their writing, while all students with and without disabilities improve the quality of their writing after using TBGO. Also, given sufficient practice, students maintain their performance when the graphic organizer is removed. And more importantly, students love to use many of our features, such as choosing transition words from a drop-down menu. Writing is no longer a daunting task. Our TBGO makes writing fun.
Here's one of our remote rock stars, Tara Travis, a resource room teacher from RSU 21 Maine, presenting Learning Menus, Serving Up Instructional Strategies.
Our amazing instructional strategists devised a learning menu for students as soon as they went home. So kids had things in all the content areas, and they were really easily accessed by the students with learning disabilities and special needs. It was very easy for us to go in and help them participate in grade level curriculum activities while addressing their learning needs. For some of them, it was executive functioning skills, helping them break down the menus to reduce the number of choices because there were so many. For other kids, it was just touching base with them, first through sharing videos, much like the one I'm doing here, then moving to Google Hangouts, and then finally going into telemedicine sites and seeing kids one-on-one. I've been able to utilize my ed tech through these sessions too. So sometimes she's doing the teaching, sometimes I'm doing the teaching. I'm always on with her. And we have seen some really fantastic results with most of our students.
Our curriculum supports track continues with Megan Best, Training and Accounts Manager, Attainment Company, Inc. Ms. Best discusses attainment curriculum at home on the web.
Welcome to today's web-based training on Attainment's distance learning options. I'm excited to present you with an overview of Attainment's remote learning programs. Thank you so much for joining me today to learn more about our resources for students with moderate to severe disabilities. Attainment Company, founded in 1979, an independent family-owned business based in Verona, Wisconsin, is dedicated to helping people with disabilities succeed at school, work, and in life. We collaborate with universities around the country to publish research-based curricula, especially for students with moderate to severe intellectual disability or autism. Our initial publication, created through a partnership with the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, was the groundbreaking Early Literacy Skills Builder, or ELSB. The result of a 5-year federally funded research project, it was the first scientifically based reading program for this population to incorporate the National Reading Panel's 5 key components of reading instruction. We have since published research-based curricula in math, science, English language arts, and self-determination. Attainment Company is committed to producing high-quality curriculum that is aligned to standards. All of our ELA offerings are aligned to Common Core literacy standards nationwide. In addition to the alignments, our online curriculum includes data tracking systems. The data capture is built into the software to allow you to keep track of the progress your students are making. Lastly, Attainment's literacy software incorporates the best practices of systematic and direct instruction, plus evidence-based practices such as time delay and prompting. To assist you in providing quality instruction remotely during this COVID-19 pandemic, Attainment has launched the Attainment Hub, which allows administrators and teachers to log in and retrieve all printable student materials from Attainment resources purchased by the district. Some examples would be student books, workbooks, flashcards, graphic organizers, posters, videos, reference guides, and more. In addition, we are offering free 30-day web-based subscription trial for our 5 research-based ELA software titles, as well as several additional Attainment products. Step-by-step instructions for accessing the new web-based software titles via the Attainment Hub can be found by clicking on the link below, which will take you to the above PDF document. I will also give you a tutorial of this process. There are several of Attainment's programs available with a 30-day trial. Early Literacy Skills Builder, or ELSB, incorporates the 5 National Reading Panel components of reading instruction: phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary development, and comprehension. 5 years of solid research have been completed through the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, providing ELSB to be a highly effective literacy program and more effective than a sight word only program. The program narrator and main character, Mo the Frog, takes students through lessons that are built to shape mastery of 14 objectives following an easy to hard sequence. ELSB for older students uses the same scope and sequence as the ELSB software. However, this version was specifically designed to give older students who have not been exposed to foundational reading skills age-appropriate activities to learn them. ELSB for older students features an adolescent girl named Sam instead of Mo the Frog from the original ELSB program. Early Reading Skills Builder is for students who mastered these early literacy skills and need continued instruction in phonics. ERSB takes students to a 2nd grade reading level. It incorporates systematic instruction and ongoing assessments to teach students to read independently. Objectives include letter sound identification, blending, segmenting, decoding, reading sight words, reading text, and answering comprehension questions. Access Language Arts features 8 literature pieces typically used at the secondary school curriculum. The software serves as a companion to Attainment's Teaching to Standards ELA program. The adapted stories included are Holes, We Beat the Street, The Outsiders, Neighbors, Number the Stars, The Diary of Anne Frank, Dragon Wings, Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes. The lessons follow a 5-step sequence: vocabulary instruction, preview and prediction, read the adapted book, quiz on vocabulary, followed by comprehension questions, including a sequencing activity. Lastly, Access Language Arts Write is a technology-based approach to writing instruction. It also complements the Teaching to Standards English Language Arts curriculum and is a companion product to Access Language Arts software for reading. In this program, students are supported step by step in constructing grade-aligned opinion paragraphs about each of the 8 adapted pieces of literature, including fiction and nonfiction. The program also includes activities for improving reading comprehension and vocabulary development. In addition, there are several other programs offered through the Hub, such as Attainment's Computers at Work, PixWriter, Show Me Math, and Symbol Support. Let's watch a tutorial on accessing the free trial. Okay, so to access the free 30-day trial, you'll need a copy of this document, which I linked below on the PowerPoint, and you'll be able to see this PDF. And on the PDF, it'll have the link to the Attainment Hub, which is just hub.attainmentcompany.com. And this is going to have all the information that you need to create an account. So if we go back to the Attainment Hub, you'd click this green button right here and go ahead and create an account. It's going to list off a few things that you'll need to fill out, such as your email, create a password, confirm that password, and then you'll need to check your email for a verification. So if you don't see that email, make sure you check your spam folders to verify your email. And then you're set to go ahead and log in to the Attainment Hub. So if I already have my email or my username, I can just go ahead and type it in. And I can log in. And the first thing you're going to do is click this blue button up here, which says Redeem Code. And where the code is located is on that same sheet right down here. This code right here. That's going to be the code for everybody. So once you enter that code in the blank, then you'll select COVID-19 relief and then OK. And that's what's going to give you access to all of the free programs. My program here already has access to all of these things, but you can see here the different free trials that we talked about earlier, the Access Language Arts Right, Access Language Arts, Computers at Work, Early Literacy Skills Builder, Early Literacy Skills Builder for older students, Early Reading Skills Builder, PixWriter, Show Me Math, and Symbol Support are all here with the option for you to check them out. On the cloud is where you can then start to add your students. So the first thing you might want to do is click the Add button here. And if I want to add another student, I would type a name in. I can choose to create a password that I like, or I can let the system generate a password on its own. And then I'm going to choose a student that it most resembles, and you can certainly go in here and edit the avatars as well. So you can change face shape and skin color. There's just tons of hair options that you can choose, eyes, different glasses, different eye color, whatever the student might look like the student. You can even have facial hair. And then you can choose different hats, or a shirt color, depending on if you know a student likes a certain shirt color. So then you go ahead and click Finish, and that student's there, and you see all the programs here that you might want to have them have access to. So for example, if it's an elementary level student, perhaps you want them to do Show Me Math and Early Literacy Skills Builder and maybe Dollars and Cents. Those would be great programs that they could access to for an elementary student. If you had a secondary student, perhaps you'd select Access Language Arts Right and Access Language Arts, perhaps even Computers at Work, and maybe ELSB for older students. So you would go ahead and select the programs that you'd like them to use, and then you'd click Enable Home Use. This is where you'd put in the student's home email. And what will happen is an email will be generated with a username and a password for the student to log in. Then they would access the Hub at the exact same website, hub.attainmentcompany.com. And what that's going to look like for that student is then when we enable home use. So if I just put in my email address for home use, I'm going to click that, and that's going to create a student desk for Alex here. So if I click on student desk and I want to see what they're going to see when they log in, they're going to have a nice desk here, like a room with access to the different programs that you selected. They would then double click on those and they would be launched into that program. Again, all of these instructions are right there on that PDF to the link that I did a couple of slides back. And I'm happy to email that out to anybody to have access to for a 30-day trial of our wonderful ELA and additional programs. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy the free 30-day trial of our programs, classroom licenses can be purchased for the following school year. Our web-based subscription benefits include a classroom license with access from anywhere for student login or data retrieval, ongoing support, and renewal prices that will not increase. Please don't hesitate to reach out should you have any additional questions. Here's my contact information as well as our 800 number, and we will get you the support you need. Thanks for listening.
Now from Jackson State University, Mississippi, Assistant Professor Dr. Glenda Winfield, one of our remote rock stars, presents Your Home is the Remote Learning Classroom.
Well, first of all, yes, your home is the classroom. And you do this by just taking notice of some of the simple things that you have in your house that teaches and reinforces certain skills like math, vocabulary, building, spelling, all of this. Let's go into the kitchen. Let the child assist in the preparation of a meal, a sandwich or whatever. They are learning the measurements of quart, pint, teaspoon, tablespoon, cup, etc. And make it a fun experience. Next thing you can do is, how about if you created a little deli? You can teach money management skills. You can also make it where, the child is learning how to be an entrepreneur. And the product that you sell could be some of the food that you whipped up in the kitchen during your cooking exercise. When you go and run an errand, help the child to learn about various landmarks. Let them know the names of streets. All of these things, and also directionality, north, south, east, and west. All of these things will prove most beneficial in the event that if your child ever gets away from you, it's good to know how to get home. This will reinforce their capabilities to understand geography in a local setting, then expanded to county, state, and globally. All of these things you can do. Never, parents, guardians, underestimate your contribution to your child's successes.
Now our Curriculum Supports Q&A session with Christine K. Jones, Benetech Labs, Anya Evmanova, Amy Hutchison, and Kelly Regan, George Mason University, and Megan Best, Attainment Company, Inc. Dr. Lisa Waters is our moderator.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for those wonderful presentations. I think, we've seen some trends in some of the questions that actually are for all three of our presenters today. One of the biggest questions we've gotten is, what does this cost? So if you guys could take a moment and just kind of talk, I know, Megan, you had some of that in your presentation, but if you guys can just talk us through a little bit about what are the costs of these products that you're talking about today?
Well, I'll start. So Bookshare is free for all qualified U.S. students of any age. So that can be K through 12, post-secondary, even adults going back to school. So any student, qualified U.S. student of any age can access Bookshare for free. People who have qualifying conditions who are not students pay $50 a year for an unlimited number of books.
Wonderful. Anya?
Sure. So the technology-based graphic organizers are available for free to anyone who is interested in using them, as well as the support materials for teachers. Right this second, you would have to email me to get access to the graphic organizer. However, a little later in the summer, as we finalize the refinements, they will be available on the website. It will be wego.gmu.edu. wego.gmu, George Mason University.edu.
And then for attainments products, again, it's free trial through the end of the month of June. So you can go ahead and check it out and see if it's a good fit for your students. And then the prices differ based on the program. So they run somewhere between $119 to $299 per program. And that includes a 3-year license for a classroom. If you wanted to purchase all 5 titles of our ELA programs that I went over, I think it's $799 for a 3-year license.
Great. Thank you, everyone. The other question we had a number of requests to find out a little bit more information about was data. So what kind of data does the product actually, take in, and how does that get shared back with teachers?
So teachers in their Bookshare account can see what different books students have access to. So what reading lists they've been assigned, what books they've been assigned, and then they can see which of those books they have downloaded, in what format and on what day. So that's the information that we make available, and that's in the teacher's login to Bookshare.
And for the technology-based graphic organizers, there is actually quite a bit of data collected and reported to teachers. There was a brief slide that nobody could read that showed the rubric. So there is a way to evaluate student writing. But in addition to that, we collect such data as the use of support strategies, the use of video models, how long students use the video models, how long they stayed on each page, whether they use text-to-speech, and all the mouse clicks that students have done.
And for attainments products, as you saw through the tutorial, teachers create a student account, and then they can go in and see different things like usage, how much time a student has spent on each product, as well as how they responded to questions within each product. So you can see how many opportunities it took them to get it right, or if they never got it right. And the software is going to help also move students along to the next level with that data collection process as well.
Great. The next question that we've heard a number of people asking is, how do we support our English language learners? What supports do any of you have for other languages in addition to just English?
So Bookshare books are available in dozens of languages, definitely Spanish, French, Vietnamese, variety of Asian languages. The trick is that the person reading the book will need a text-to-speech tool in that language. And there are lots of options for that. The read and write tool that I showed, for example, that is from Text Help, that's an extension available in either Chrome or Safari or the new Edge browser, has a lot of different different languages available to read. So they just have to use a tool that has, for example, if they're trying to read a book in Spanish, they need a tool that has a Spanish text-to-speech voice. But there are dozens of languages, and actually, for example, Spanish, I believe at last time I checked, there were more than 10,000 titles in the collection in Spanish. So we have a very large collection in some of those languages, and others, the number of books available will be much smaller, other languages, but definitely there are options in many languages.
Is Bookshare also available in other countries?
Great question, and yes, there is a great page on the website that explains all of it, but it's available anywhere. The price that one pays for Bookshare depends on the country they're in. So we have some information about that. If you go to bookshare.org and then look for international information, you'll see that there.
Okay, and unfortunately, the graphic organizer is in English only at this point. trying to get it in one language first. However, we have used it quite successfully with ELL learners. We've done quite a bit of research with that because it was designed having students with disabilities in mind. It is using a lot of sort of simple language and a lot of picture supports within the graphic organizer. So while it is not students, English language learners are not the target population for this, we have used it with these students quite successfully.
And for attainments programs, unfortunately, they're all in English at this time, but since they are ELA programs that are designed for kids with disabilities, a lot of those same strategies and evidence-based practices that are embedded in the software and the teaching script could be very beneficial for students that are emerging bilingual. And so it could still be very supportive for those populations as well.
Thanks, everyone. Megan, I'm going to put you on the spot real quickly again. Can you talk a little bit about how your product works with switch devices and other ways to access the material?
Yeah, there's some setting options for each of the programs. So if you have a student that utilizes a switch, you can set that up in the settings and the user settings when you create a singular student account for that student. You can set up those options so that they can access via whatever switch device they're using. I can put my contact information up again, and if anybody needs help getting that set up, I'd be happy to provide a tutorial for that.
Great. And I think for all of our panelists, putting your contact information up, we've gotten a lot of requests for, Anya, how do we reach you? However you feel comfortable sharing that information. I know that people on the call would really appreciate it. One of the other things that it seemed to be a trend in our questioning today is, can you work with individuals only, or do you also work with schools? And I think this is a question for the three of you to talk about or to address individually for your product, but how does your product work best for students?
So for Bookshare, there are two kinds of accounts. There's an organizational account that schools sign up for and add qualified students. And then there's the individual account that a parent or student can sign up for separate and apart from a school. The best recommendation, best practice from our standpoint is to have a hybrid of the two, to have for a student to be on a school account. And then there's an easy way, as I was showing in the video, to provide the student a full individual membership as well. So they can search for their own books, but that way teachers can also push books to them. So that's what we recommend.
We've done it in many different ways. For the grant purposes, we have worked with schools. However, a different number of teachers at a school used our graphic organizers. Sometimes it was just one teacher who wanted to use it, and sometimes it was a whole grade level. So it really varies. We also got a lot of interest from parents, from articles that we published or conference presentations that we've done. So we've shared the graphic organizer with parents as well, and they were able to use it with their children as well. So it works in all different ways.
And for our products, definitely, what you were seeing with the software, most of those programs are blended programs that also come with a print component, so that you can kind of mix the two and have, teach the teaching script with print and teach it through the software. And so it was definitely intended, to be implemented in small group or even one-to-one. It's a little more challenging with the distance learning. However, it could be done in small group in a classroom or, using the software. Many of our programs can be implemented with a small group, all accessing the software at once and taking turns in the different applications that we offer.
Great. My next question is going to go to Christine specifically. Christine, we've had a number of people who have asked about the best way to read Bookshare books or the free apps that might be available to be used with Bookshare. Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Certainly. So the easiest way is the one that I showed where a teacher assigns a book to a student, or a student finds the book on their own if they're an individual member, and they find that Read Now button. So if they're on Chrome, if they're on Safari, or if they're on the new Edge, the latest version of Edge, they'll access that Read Now button. It'll open up in the browser. They don't have to download anything. They don't have to download the book or download any software. It literally just is almost like having a built-in reader in the application. So they just click the Read Now button, it opens and reads. However, to make reading possible on a lot of other devices besides desktop computers or laptops, in that case, or Mac computers, there are apps for mobile devices that we highly recommend. And both of these that I'll mention work for both the iOS mobile devices as well as Android. So those would be Dolphin, Easy Reader, and that's actually a free app and it integrates very nicely with Bookshare. And then Voice Dream Reader, 3 words, Voice Dream Reader. That app also works very beautifully with Bookshare, and that one has a small cost associated with it. I believe it's actually on sale right now. So definitely check that out. And those apps allow members to log into their Bookshare account within the app and find books and read. So we suggest that, yes. And somebody's mentioning CAPTI, and I'll definitely second that. That's a great tool as well. CAPTIvoice.com is a web-based solution, and then the CAPTI browser is available for the iOS mobile devices. And there's a free version and also a premium paid version of that app as well.
Great. I think we're getting a little bit close to time. I think we have time for 1 or 2 more questions, but this one I'm going to open up to the entire panel again. There have been a number of people who have asked about accessibility. And so when we say it's accessible, who are these tools optimized for? I know that one question specifically is about ASL. I know that some of the products have limitations on who they're designed for or how they're being used, but could you speak a little bit to that, each of you?
Okay, so Bookshare operates under a copyright exception that makes it legal for us to distribute books to people with certain conditions, and they're determined by copyright law, not education law. So that gets a little confusing, but the bottom line is if a student can't see the print because they're visually impaired, if they can't process the print because of some kind of a learning disability or processing disorder, or if they can't hold the book or turn pages, they likely qualify. And on our website, bookshare.org, there's a drop down that says it's Bookshare for me, and underneath that it says who qualifies. So you can go there to get more information.
Great, thank you.
So the technology-based graphic organizers are accessible to students with other disabilities. However, if you notice, they are quite complex. Definitely were developed having students with high incidence disabilities in mind. So it might be somewhat challenging for students with more severe cognitive disabilities, or even with someone with visual impairment to use it, even though it is accessible and has been tested with screen readers. It's kind of like a lot of things happening there. It's not the most clean project for that purpose. However, it does, because it is web-based application for Chrome, it does work with other Chrome applications such as speech-to-text, word prediction, and others. So students could sort of access and type in information alternatively, not just by typing it in.
And our products are designed primarily for students with moderate to severe disabilities, so looking at intellectual disabilities and autism. However, it can work for a variety of disabilities. I talked earlier about how if a student requires switch access, that can be accommodated as well. There's a number of evidence-based practices embedded into our software and print curricula, like time delay, prompting, and our software has those as well. So it can be great for a variety of students that really need the targeted objectives that each program is working towards.
Great. Well, unfortunately, we are at time. And so Christine, Megan, and Anya, I really want to thank you again for your wonderful presentations and the questions that you were answered. Thank you, everyone. We appreciated you joining us today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Watch these other special education UnConference modules. Module 1, Platforms for Accessible Remote Learning. Opening welcome, Ed Metz, PhD, and Sarah Brazel, PhD, EDIES. Keynote, Sarah Chomsky, Growing Up and Bouncing Back. Module 2, Personalized Parent-Child Supports. Module 4, Math During COVID-19. Module 5, Adapting for Disabilities. Module 6, Research Updates. Module 7, Reaching Complex Students Through Collaboration on Distance Education. Module 8, EdTech Vendors Forum. Module 9, Closing Keynote, Richard Ellenson, What Have We Learned About Learning? Closing Comments, Tara Corshane, EDOSEP, and Kristen Kane, HHS.